Good evening, guys. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Decoding Millennial Mariners. Show must go on, and this I am trying to do without any prior advertisement, prior any kind of post or reels or kind of a thing, or story on Instagram. I'm going to say without bombarding the Insta family that I'm going to come. I've tried to do this show now because it's merely a discussion than kind of a show between the Captain Basu and me, and we would like people to learn more about this. So it is basically a show which is not something that is announced and is tried to be done. I got some feedbacks for my kind of live sessions on the Insta, and thank you very much for that, because that is very important. Feedbacks are very important, because feedbacks from people who care about you are really good and really important, because they care for you. So I like the feedbacks. Hello, Kritesh Kumar. So I'm just waiting for Captain Basu to join, and then today we don't have a guest. So today we are just going to discuss few things which probably he has in mind and I have in mind. Let's see if our minds match. Hi Saurabh, good evening to you. Long time no see. Good that you're on Insta, and I believe you're active as well, on Insta. So I'm just waiting for Captain Basu to join, and as soon as he joins, then probably we will start discussions. But as I said, this is a show being done without any story, post, or bombardment of any kind of that we are coming, and we are going to do it. So we want to do it subtly, because this is about the minds of millennials, and we should respect that. So anybody's got any question, please ask the question, because I have my laptop on as well. So I can read things there, and there joins Captain Debashish Basu. Hi Captain Basu, how are you?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah, all
great.
good, all good. My
All
net
good,
was not
good.
giving, not very clear today, so I was a little bit
Yeah,
doubtful for
even
today.
now
But
your net is not so good. Yeah, even now your net is not
yeah,
so great. I mean, slightly there's
is
some
it?
blur is coming in your.
Yeah. Ah, I see. Okay.
You may you if you
Uh,
want to change the position, you can change the position or go somewhere else if you want, because
let me.
your face is still blur at the moment. Somebody wanted to ask some question or some request was there. I don't know whether. Hi, Narendra Kohli. I'm fine. Narendra, thank you very much for asking. I'm absolutely fine, doing great. Busy as ever, no time at all. Online course. क्या क्या पूछ रहा है? One minute. I switch on my laptop and read there. I believe that is better to read the comments there than on the phone, because on the phone वो देखो बड़ा सवाल पूछा है किसी ने भी. I think maritime universe must read that. What is that question? नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. ससन can you अच्छा यहाँ मिला. Okay. Online course for safe pilot boarding arrangement with certificate issued to by AMPA. It will help young millennials to gain knowledge. So yes, very good suggestion actually. What we are trying to do is, first the Savipta is again another tapping of millennial minds. So Savipta is actually a precursor to the millennial decoding millennial show. So what we are trying to look at is that if Savipta really succeeds well, and of course it is succeeding well because we have received 113 papers. Now 6 of the judges have finished papers. So we are already in possession of 50 odd papers, 50 odd results in hand. And that is also all millennial suggestions. I mean, some of the suggestions are really vague. Some of the suggestions are really out of box. I mean, they all could qualify for being a Steve Jobs, of all you know, of what, 2000 and 2006, 2004, when he started with the garage. So all the suggestions are like that, but fewer suggestions have been criticized by the international judges also, as people haven't studied well and things like that. But it's okay. I mean, there was two important thing when we deal with millennials, that we have to understand one thing, that we have to give them ample time, ample thinking, ample material to sink in first. It might take some time for them to understand and then understand and think. So once that is done, then we can look at doing that thing. I mean, tapping their minds and tapping their innovative ideas. But first of all, they must know first. So this Samyukta competition at least have created an awareness. And I heard, we just launched the AMPA website yesterday, and people really spoke very well about the Samyukta competition and AMPA's efforts in the pilotage world. Some people may realize, some people may not realize. Some people may appreciate, some people may not appreciate. Some people were there, some people were not there. Doesn't matter at all. So the idea is that relentless work, irrespective of appreciation, must go on. And that kind of dopamine I don't need. So I can relentlessly work on an issue. Like I'm working on an IMO model competition now, and it's a relentless work. I'm doing day in, day out, and it'll again start investing my time from tomorrow onwards, almost 2 hours, 3 hours a day. And it's not joke, I mean, when you spend 2-3 hours a day with the cadets, explaining them how to make presentations, how to speak, how to use what words, it takes a lot of efforts and it needs passion. So Nav Guide is already here. Okay, let me add him. I was trying to look for him, but I could not see him. So Hassan, yes, very good idea from you, and we will implement that. We do the training in the MTIs about the pilot ladder. So certificate can be issued. That is good thing. More than that, I would like to give the cadets who do this kind of Samyukta competitions a badge. We can even we can think of creating Debashish. We can think of creating a millennial mariner badge, and they can proudly put it on their chest. I'm a millennial mariner. I'm Gen Z.
Sure.
I'm Gen Alpha.
They are already reaching the Gen Alpha now. I mean, Gen
Correct,
Z is
correct.
also almost fading out. Yeah.
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 See, this is what it is. So good, your connection is damn good now. I'm very happy. Otherwise, I was thinking I
Yeah.
had to pull
Yeah.
the show alone myself. Show must go on. That's what we
Right.
have said.
Yeah. Show must
You
go
know.
on. Yes.
So I told
Absolutely.
everyone that today's theme is that we have not done any announcement, we have not done any posting, we have not done any
Yeah.
storytelling and all that prior this show. Since we said Tuesday and
Right.
Friday, never mind. Tuesday and Friday will be there at o'clock. So people now
Yeah.
should get used to not being bombarded upon about the
With
timings and about the reminders.
posts and times.
So
Correct.
slowly they come out with that mindset as well. That I
Right.
need to be
Right.
reminded always.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
very important thing I had in my mind today. I don't know what you have in mind. Let's see how thinking
Uh-huh.
matches. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, so I had a thing in my mind that to discuss some misconceptions about the millennial mariners or millennial generation. What
Yeah.
misconceptions people have.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same. I mean, this is one of the
Oh,
topics that, yeah.
that's damn
And
good. See, this is exciting here. This is very good. Oh, very
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So I
Really,
had this
really.
in mind. So I thought, okay, I will tell you only when you come. So you
Right,
can,
right,
I
right.
can tap your mind. Oh, fantastic. That is good. So we will do it that way.
So, yeah,
So I mean, you
right.
first.
Well,
What do you think is
there are
what do you think is the biggest
many.
conception?
Well, when we talk about the maritime industry in general, there are a number of misconceptions. But then, when you factor in the millennial mariner in the equation, the people of the newer generation, the people of the younger generation, the misconceptions, there are certain misconceptions which do not affect you. I mean, you can have that belief for your whole life and it will never affect you. It will never have cause any harm to you. So,
So
but there are
Devashish,
certain,
one
yes,
minute.
yes,
Let's cut the background. Let us see what all complaints. I mean, I don't have any complaints as such. Well, I've not sailed. I've sailed with this, not today's youngsters. So I stopped
yeah,
sailing in
yeah,
2006. What all complaints? I have heard a lot of complaints from masters about when I was superintendent in 2016, 2015. I have heard a lot of masters telling me complaints about the young ABs, young OS, young cook, young utility hand, or whatever you call him, GS, or young cadets, young fifth engineers. The complaints
yeah.
about them कि ये सुनता नहीं है, ये ऐसे करता है, वैसे करता है. You know, so let's talk about them. What, like, you can tell me 5 complaints, I'll tell you 5 complaints. Then you tell me 4 complaints, I'll tell you 4 complaints. You tell me three,
Yeah.
I'll tell you three. You tell me two, I'll tell you two. So let's have them,
Yeah, yeah.
and let viewer also understand as to what we are saying. These are the complaints heard about them directly.
Well, one of the things which happened over the last couple of years, which is, I think the reason for many of these complaints, or the core element of many of these complaints, is that the younger generation do not give enough respect. Okay,
Okay, not enough.
or
I'm writing down, huh? I'm writing it down.
yes,
So
all
not
right,
enough respect is one. You quickly
not
tell it.
not
I mean,
enough.
don't stop
Yeah.
yourself.
But this is I'm not making a statement here. I mean, this is just
No,
that
no, no, no,
we
no, no,
hear
no.
this
There's
a
no need to
lot.
make
I'm not
statement. I'm
saying this
saying
right or wrong.
what all the complaints we have heard. So
What
once
are
we
the
have
complaints?
them
Yeah,
once we have them here, then we can see that okay, we have these complaints, 25 of them.
yeah,
Don't
yeah, yeah.
listen, argue, arrogant, whatever it is, whatever I heard. And
Yeah,
maximum
yeah.
complaints, huh? Not the small ones. And then we
Correct,
can see
correct.
what are the causes of this. Why this has happened. So people will
Right.
gain some gyan out of it. Chalo.
Well,
Does
another
not
complaint,
listen.
very common one, does not listen is one. No, does not listen is one complaint. But then
Okay.
another complaint is does not pay respect. It does not respect us so much. That is a very
Does
common.
not respect. Okay. Go ahead,
Uh,
sir.
and and then there is another one that they are not interested in their jobs. They are just here for having fun, or they are always running to their mobile phones. Or this is a very common complaint that they do not. We used to spend so much time in studying, or getting
Okay.
the information or the knowledge. That's how I don't
Not
know how you
interested
are
in
going to
job.
put it. But yeah, yeah, they're not interested in this job. Is one liner. So these are some of the very common things. Then they are sort of
Fourth one.
okay. Fourth one,
Fourth one.
I would say this is not just for the younger generation, but in general, very heavy, complaint against
No, no, your network again is acting up. Your network is acting up.
okay now.
Your network is acting up. Sorry. Yeah, Sweeta, thank you. Noted all the feedback. Thank you, thank you. Yes, we noted all the feedback. I have noted the feedback. Good evening to you, Kashish. Thank you for joining. Good evening, Sriza. So idea was to that what things have we heard? I mean, could be positive, could be negative about the millennial mariners. It could be positive, could be negative. I mean, no, Devashish, your network. Can you not use hotspot instead of using the and keep the phone near the window? Oh, anyway, no problem, no issues. No, we lost him again. Anyway, he'll try to join again. So idea is to there are a lot of people talk about, I mean, in complaining tone or in complimenting tone to lot of about the youngsters. So we want to hear from, I want to hear from Debashish first as to what he would like
I've
to.
tried. I
You have
tried
a
a
tough
lot
time
of.
today.
Yeah. I mean, there's something in this area today because I've tried at least three different networks. Nothing is working. And this is ironical because we're talking about the millennial generation, internet, and all that, and internet is not working. So, what can we do?
So you have
So,
said about three complaints. I mean, it could
three
be. I
companies.
just came to. I just thought one more thing on this addition. I mean, we can add
Yeah.
again the next time also. Maybe the positive, maybe the negative. Huh? It could be positive thing. What the thing that you have heard most from people about the millennial generation? Could be positive
Uh,
also.
yeah. So, one of the positive things is that they are good in computers, they are good in technology, they are good with
Good in
handling
technology.
technology. Yes.
Okay, I just say good in technology, computer technology. Anyway, next,
Yes.
last one,
Yes.
fifth one, fifth one.
And I would say common perception is that they are, this is not just about millennials, but I think it's a common perception among all seafarers today that everyone is fed up of the paperwork and the checklists and so many procedures and so many things are changing. So many changes are happening very fast.
Okay,
Things are
ठीक है.
getting tougher.
Now my
Yeah.
five, my five.
Yes.
You know,
Okay. Okay. You're fine.
you
Yeah.
have said does not listen. Number one, does not respect, not interested in job, good in technology, and fed up with the paperwork. I mean, fed up paperwork. So mine number one is attitude issue. Okay,
Yeah.
there are
Okay.
a lot of attitude
Okay.
issues they have. I mean, this is what a complaint is. Another thing is he's good in behavior. So this is a absolutely a opposite complaint. So attitude is positive, could be negative. So attitude, let me
Right.
say, sort of beauty. Beauty lies in the
Uh-huh.
eyes of beholder. So attitude
Yeah.
lies in the
Eyes of the
the perception of a person. I always say that, you know.
yeah.
So somebody
Correct.
find the attitude maybe rude, somebody find the attitude maybe, kind of a new generation attitude, you know. So
Right.
there's this,
Right.
the second one is, the second one is that, good in behavior. I mean, people, they have a lot of, because they respect, I mean, kind of. So it is opposite to what you said, does not respect. Number
Right.
two, like, good in paperwork. Whatever you tell them to do, they will do it. Like they may not be interested in doing paperwork, fine. We ask you to do the xeroxing, ask you to type this out, make an Excel sheet. So these guys are damn good in that, and they're quite okay. And you tell him
Yeah.
this is what I need every third of a month. He will give you that every third of the month. Never mind what happens. The crew list, making this, that, making a list
Right.
of inventory, this, that. These guys are
Whatever.
very good.
Paperwork. Yes. Okay. So
Very
you're saying that
another good one I heard very good is that a lot of good
yes.
ideas they come up with. You know, a lot of good
Acha?
ideas they come up with.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
fourth and the fifth one is a complaint. Of course, if the complaint is again, that they are not hands-on, so they are not practical, you know. So not practical and not hands-on. So not
Okay.
hands-on. Naturally, I mean, nobody is hands-on on the beginning. So millennials, so it is a complaint over some of the masters also. Like,
Right. Right.
millennial people are the masters now and chief officers now. The lot of superintendent complaint that, he's not a practical guy. He's not a hands-on guy.
Okay.
He's a
Okay.
good in, other things, but So I've said five things.
Yeah.
Attitude is one thing. Could be bad, could be good. Good in
Yeah.
behavior at times. Good in paperwork. Lot of good ideas they have, but not practical and not hands-on. Now you're four. Could be positive, could be
Well,
negative, right?
I am almost finished with my list. I don't have any more generalized list, but there is a lot of myths and there is a lot of things that are as you said in the
Have you
beginning
heard
that
of Have you heard of
yeah
a spoiled brat? That
yeah of
complaint?
course I mean
Yeah.
yes
So this is no. Why I'm writing this down
Mama
is because
spoil
yeah, spoiled brat. Hai yaar. I mean, father is rich, mother is rich, the spoiled brat.
rich guys yes
Yeah.
yes
You
that's
know,
that's another
careless. Have
perception
you heard of
because
careless? Have you heard of careless?
well, this is all
Carelessness.
actually almost the same, just a here and a little bit here and there. But when you say, yeah, I mean, I've heard about being careless about the older generation. I mean, about the younger generation. For any generation, that happened with our fathers. It happened with our grandfathers. Every generation before them has said they are careless. I mean, the next generation is careless, or so that is. I don't think it's something special, specific to millennials. I would say, or
Good,
do you
good.
think it's
Trendy,
a complaint
trendy.
about? Yeah.
Is it trendy? Have you heard of trendy thing? It's very trendy. And whatever
Some
trend
of
is there, they
them,
follow the
some of
trend.
them are, some are,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. That like
sometimes.
trendy is one of the adjectives they always get. Like okay, he's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
trendy. A
Trendy
trendy
person,
fellow,
yeah,
trendy
trendy
fellow.
guy.
Yeah. We follow
Yeah,
the trend. Instead of making
correct,
trends, they follow a trend. I mean, we didn't follow a trend as such. We just followed the uniform as uniform. But you see today when I see the
well,
cadets wearing uniform, they have those. I mean, our time there was no question of wearing jeans on the beach. Also, we used to have trousers, and the trousers were
right,
very important. But today I see a
right,
lot of reels, a lot of photographs where people wear reels. I mean, they
correct,
are wearing reels in the wash keeping, and I mean, wear jeans.
correct,
I mean, not reels.
correct.
Anything else specific
Well,
to a peculiar?
particularly, I don't remember anything specific to the millennials as such, but there are a number of
Unfocused. Have you heard of unfocused?
careless, unfocused, almost. I mean, it's almost, yeah. Uh, but as a generation, would you say, or you're also talking about some specific examples? Some people are. I mean, some of the millennials are unfocused.
I
Do
mean,
you
this
think
is what I
they're
said. After millennial, people have lost that focus. I mean,
correct?
I
That
tell you,
is true.
when my father used to teach me to read in my
That is
childhood,
true for yes.
he would put one incense stick, and till the time the incense stick finished, we had to read. So we used to read
Oh,
the book before going to sleep. Before that
okay.
incense thing's finished, so we had to read. So my entire focus used to be on that the stick finishing.
Hmm. Okay.
then
Acha.
then the
So
text,
once it
then
gets
the
over, you
text.
can go. You can go to sleep. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
So
Yeah.
so
Right.
so I
I
mean that
understand.
focus is not. So this is how the focus was developed. Now also today I can sit for two
Yeah.
hours and work without being disturbed, without doing anything. Normally I get up in the morning and do that kind of thing where I
True.
don't see the phone, my WhatsApp is off, things like that. So idea is to
But
only focus
yeah.
in what we are doing. So that idea of focus was there in our generation, but now generation, since they are multitasking, probably they are doing too many
Yeah.
things at one time. They're texting one friend and another girlfriend and another, and same time ordering food online and same time texting somebody that I'm coming home. Somebody telling
So
him I'm
so
not coming today.
this is something that has happened to many of us, including me. I can say that. See, the matter of being focused on one particular element has reduced. I mean, the attention span, as we were talking before, attention span has reduced for almost all of us. I mean, regardless of the generation, of course, for the newer generation, if you have a phone constantly in front of you and you are, if you, let's take an example of Facebook. If you open a Facebook feed and you scroll down along the feed, you think of the number of things that are hitting your mind on a minute by minute basis. One moment you're reading about someone has cooked some bhindi at home, and the next thing you know that someone is in Scotland enjoying their holidays, and the next thing is something that is very interesting for your like technical knowledge. Then something related to shipping, then something related to some explosion happened somewhere else, and you have to put your vote for that, whether it is right or wrong. So think of the so many different kinds of the mix and match of so many different ideas that are going past your brain if you are scrolling along the Facebook feed. This is just an example. Think of Instagram, think of any other social media on the phone.
Even
And
WhatsApp.
even, I
Even
mean,
WhatsApp.
yeah. So on a Saturday night in 1990s, I remember when I was in school that time, that it was a highlight of our week that on Saturday evening there will be a Hindi movie which will come on DD2, there
Yeah.
Doordarshan 2, And we
Exactly.
have to watch it, whatever the movie is. Whether it's a bad movie, good movie, we have to watch it because we don't have an option. And on Sunday, there'll be a regional language movie, which is
Yeah.
Bengali in Calcutta. It will be a Bengali movie. Saturday is Hindi, and Sunday is regional. So now, if you are watching a movie and you're bored with 5 minutes of the movie, and if you don't have an agenda that you have to watch the movie, you will change to another channel. Hundreds of channels, thousands of channels. Now you have an option to even watch it later. You pause it somewhere, then you watch it after 2 days when you have time. So the number of options which we have today has automatically reduced our attention span. So the loss of focus thing is a very generalized thing which is standard for this everyone living in today's world, whether it's a millennial guy or a younger guy or someone much older than that. If you
So
are
one of
trying to
the, so
find
you would say
something.
one of the cause is the like problem of plenty, yeah?
No, no, of course. I mean, this is all interrelated. This is all related to one another, and you
Problem
cannot
of plenty,
separate
they
one
call
for
it.
the other. Problem of plenty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the creeping issue.
So many options. So many
Yeah.
options. Yeah. You know.
But then how would you know? I mean, there must be some study. I don't know. I've not read about it. I'll read about it now in this week. In the
Hmm.
problem of plenty, we should be able to understand as to where the that after seeing so many choices, where does it stop? What interests them most? I mean, forget the porn or forget the other things like which is not
Yeah. So when you
so
get into the frenzy, the addiction of as we were talking about dopamine, when you get into that addiction, like it your mind tricks you into believing that you're doing something useful now. For example, if you're picking up the phone, it doesn't necessarily mean you're wasting your time. You might actually be helping people. You might actually be increasing your knowledge base. You might be learning something new. But even if you're not doing so, it would be very difficult for you to forget about the phone for 5 days. So that is where the addiction comes. So for some of us who used to sail a lot, it was at least till a couple of years back, I'm saying, it was there was no option. If you go on board, you're cut off from the internet. You will never get internet on board. This was true till 2014 or 15, even 2016. The internet was not so common on board. Today, internet is there even on board on a 24-hour basis. But many of the companies, they don't allow continuous, internet. So life without internet and life with internet is sort of two different worlds. If you think about it, the moment you're cut off from the internet, there is only a limited number of things you can do with your phone, and eventually you will automatically get some time away from your phone, even if you want to. But today that is not the case. Even you can maintain this habit even on board. So there are numerous studies on this. There are so many thousands of studies, and some of
is
them we
it
have
okay?
read. We have researched these studies quite a bit actually. So
Okay. Very nice.
essentially, essentially the element which comes out from most of these studies is that element of you know, the element of dopamine addiction, which we are talking, and the classical conditioning that the phone seems to be our place to go. If you are bored with your wife, talking to your wife, go for your phone. If you are in a meeting and you're getting a little bit bored about the speaker, look at your phone. If you are in the classroom, if your phone is allowed, you'd probably try to take a sneak peek at the phone. So that's something which comes out from every study, that you are. This is exactly like a heroin addiction. This is no different because exactly the same chemical is getting released in your brain, which comes out of heroin, which comes out of gambling. Why you get addicted to gambling? Why you get addicted to alcohol or all these other things? The same chemical, dopamine, is getting secreted, and then that is the result of all these studies that about and that actually triggers your addiction to. It's true for anyone. and not just for the millennials nowadays, but for the millennial, it is natural. So instead of fighting it, even the conversation we are having today, like we're talking about it, that phone addiction and how this has changed, this conversation will not be important after 5 years. No one will have this kind of a conversation because the people
No,
will feel this is normal. And from that, we cannot say only bad things will come out of that. A lot of good things will come. Like you spoke about multitasking. You know, the element of multitasking itself is a huge subject. I want to talk about that someday. How we can train our minds to switch between thoughts in a very organized manner, almost like a mathematical equation. How to switch between thoughts without losing thoughts. You know, when we have grown up with a concept that you concentrate on one thing. Unless you concentrate, you cannot do something good. You know, but I can show you track records of scientists around the world, inventors around the world, some people who have come up with great ideas. They were not doing one thing. They were not concentrating on that single idea for many years. No, they were doing five different things. And there are examples of that. So multitasking is something which is coming very natural to this generation. And we
so
can
it's good
we
or
can
it's good or bad? It's good or bad. I mean, let's not
there
talk
are
about good
there
and
are
bad.
there are definitely good aspects to multitasking. That's what I want to
Yes,
say. I want to talk
absolutely.
about the multitasking someday, because multitasking, if it is organized well in your mind, if you can organize the multitasking well, I mean, if you are getting crazy and then multitasking is killing you, it is definitely not good for you. But but you can organize your multitasking in a way where you can find great ideas by just switching between different ideas at different time instead of having to concentrate on one idea for the whole day. So that's a different topic. This is a very interesting topic. I want to
No,
talk
see,
about that.
multitasking. If this generation is good in multitasking, I'm just saying, I'm just talking, thinking aloud with you.
Yes.
Generation is good in multitasking, and multitasking is a requirement, is a demand. Okay,
Yeah.
so if there is a demand of something, like the rule of economics goes, where the
Yes.
demand, supply has to be there. You know, the supply,
Right.
and then when supply is there, demand, if demand is not there, then supply is wasted. There are
Correct.
qualities of generation. Like my suppose I have a quality of, say, cleanliness. Suppose, just say,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that quality of cleanliness is not in demand.
Right.
Is not required. You know.
Right.
So two things happen to me. I become obsessive cleaner of my own self. I wash my hands, and this, because nothing, nobody else is asking me to do any of the cleaning. Nobody. The environment is not
Yeah.
demanding
Cleaning
cleaning
at
out of
that time.
things. So I
Yeah.
feel that my quality is not used. Two things happen. Number one, I become self-obsessive of the cleaning. Number two,
Yes.
it happens that I that quality get diminished. Like I might forget. Like writing. Handwriting is a
Correct.
quality, suppose. My handwriting is absolutely
Yes.
great. I mean, I
Correct.
can show it right now. My handwriting is very good. And I write
Yeah.
very well. I write very systematically also. I write one after the, and you don't have to put line on the paper. It'll come one after
Ah.
the other.
Wow.
Always,
I
huh?
see.
It's always like that.
Wonderful.
But now with the computer era, I hardly write anything. I hardly write in a day. Even a page I don't write. But two things
Right.
happen. Two things happen to me. Whenever somebody speaks or when I listen to YouTube, instead of
Yeah.
paying attention to listening, I keep my pen always handy, and my
Correct.
diaries get filled up because I keep writing. I keep writing in one sequence like that with different colors.
Yeah.
Or it may happen that in another 2 months, 3 months time, or 2 3 years time, my writing will at all stop. Like my son doesn't write. He hardly
Yes.
writes
Of
a
course.
word in a
Of
day.
course. Of course.
So simply because the writing is not in demand.
Right.
I mean, writing is not in demand. So that's kind of
True.
thing. That's what I'm saying. If the multitasking is in demand, because a lot of people are required to multitask. Work on a driver, calling a driver at 10:30, then getting your dhobi to deliver the clothes at 9:30 in the morning to go to the office meeting, and at the same time finding the cufflinks and tie, and and then the shoes, and getting prepared. Same time writing the minutes of the meeting, or the points of the meeting,
Absolutely.
and collecting what
Absolutely.
has been discussed yesterday. So they have their mind everywhere. If this is in demand today because of the
See,
nature of the
the
job,
thing is that multitasking is definitely in demand because people are trying to mold their lives using multitasking in the positive way. In the sense that many people, I mean, if you had let's say 10 minutes to think of each thought and then do it. Let's say 10 minutes to think about your dry cleaners and then act on it, make the phone call. Then you have 10 minutes to think of your next job and then you can, after that, you can act on it. If you had that luxury in your life, why not? You would have taken it. Probably you would have taken it. But today, you have 2 seconds, maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Within that, you have to make a split second decision and then do what you have to do. So multitasking is a demand because of the fast pace of our lives, because of so many things we have taken on ourselves. Many of these things were not possible earlier because the technology was not supporting us. To a large
correct.
extent, technology has started supporting us in a way. Like, for example, if you make a plan with a friend 20 years back, you have to know where that person will stand before you start from home because otherwise you will simply reach there, that person is not there. What do? You stand there. So many times we have waited for friends and hours and then come back home because the friend probably forgot or he went somewhere else or whatever. There was no way to contact. Now we have given you some technology where you can you can establish contact on a real time basis. So even if the friend runs away, you can track his phone now. Even if he doesn't tell you, you can run after him with the phone, tracking the phone.
No,
So
no.
the thing is,
Another example of multitasking I find very funny. Like when
yeah,
I was a young guy, like my son's age of 17, 18, and my father
yeah,
would send me off to the market to buy something, and he would tell me,
yeah,
okay, you go and buy this and come back. Okay, so I
yeah,
would take my cycle, I immediately go to the market, I buy that stuff, I come back home. Now, when my son goes out of the house, this is really a today morning example.
correct, correct,
He was leaving to buy something. So somebody told him to buy medicines. I
yeah,
told him to go
yeah,
to post office.
yeah,
Then
uh,
then he said no, I have to go there. Then he went out. I told him, okay, while coming back, get Fanta and get the Sprite. I mean, we are demanding a lot of multitasking from them. And my time, I mean, when I was, that's what I'm saying, the focus and multitasking, are maybe the opposite things, but we can't be saying that they are unfocused and same time we are asking them to do multitasking. You know,
true,
like
true, true.
I don't know if you remember or you were there in shipping that time. I mean, when the Filipinos came in the in shipping, the
Hmm.
Univan, I'm telling you, company name also. Univan had published
Yeah,
a
yeah.
book as to
Right.
how to behave with Filipinos on board. And I was
Okay.
very
I see.
furious those days because I was in Univan myself, and I
Okay.
said, why can't we have a book similar book like this for Indians? You know,
Hmm.
how to behave
Right.
with Indians on board. I mean, why
Right.
can't we have Indians have Diwali? They was written there about Filipinos, their behavior, their talking style, their
True.
shrugging shoulder style, and they're calling captain a cap, you know, cop.
Right.
They used to call cop. So
Cup.
it was written in the book. You don't feel offended when
Okay.
they call you cop because they mean cop
Okay.
means they means captain.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we, I mean, so why I'm trying to tell you this is because there was a behavioral change noticed. You know.
Yes.
So
Right.
if
Right.
we could come out some guideline notes for the
Now,
senior
this is
mariners.
what this is a very interesting topic, and it's really one of the things that it should be understood by everyone in this generation, especially the younger generation, that your ability of multitasking is a beautiful ability if you use it well, but it can also turn against you. Like when a child is young, so many children today in today's world is getting diagnosed by something called ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Now, ADHD essentially is
Hmm. Sorry.
so many children today are getting diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit
Yeah. Yes.
hyperactive
Yes.
disorder. So this was not the case, let's say 20 years back or 30 years back. I don't remember in my young age how many, but there were always children who were, distracted easily and not able to focus. But somehow the if you take the quality of a person who is distracted very easily and mold it to that person's advantage, it can be molded. Now, for that, one essential thing which anyone who listens to this podcast or this particular transmission should understand, for a whole day, when you're taking split second decisions, you're switching between decisions at every second, you need 5 minutes or 10 minutes of time with yourself where you can rest your mind, just 5 or 10 minutes, where you can rest your mind in a systematic way. There are systematic ways to do that. There is meditation. There is a very beautiful system that we have developed, the yogic way of relaxing our mind to a point where you are simply thoughtless. No one can be absolutely thoughtless unless he's a very advanced meditator or something. But I would definitely think that if you start with it, everyone needs it, 5 or 10 minutes a day, because of so much. If you are able to bring your mind to a standstill for even 5 minutes a day, after that you go back to that same pattern of switching thoughts, and you will see how much more effective you are, how much more your decisions, your every split second decision is much more effective and much more efficient if you can get your mind to a standstill for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Now, you don't have to. Meditation is just one of the ways. There are other ways. Listen to a song, but listen to only that song for 5 minutes. Don't do anything else. Close your eyes, let every part of the music, let everything sink in, or do whatever else that excites you, but do it constantly for 5 minutes. Do not get distracted with other things for that amount of time. Do this, and your ability to multitask will grow tenfold. Your multitasking will not be a burden for you. It will not make you go crazy, because so many people are going crazy with the constant switch of thoughts. Like, even in an office, this happens. This is not just for the ship. Even any office, you have so many targets. Then you have to put up with someone sitting next to you who you don't like. Then you have a boss who is always putting pressure on you. Then you have some targets to fulfill and so many pressures. Then you come home and probably you're having some problem at home or whatever. So many thoughts are running through your mind. Everyone in today's generation, it is extremely essential. That is what I feel, that it is extremely essential to bring your mind to a standstill.
No, absolutely. It happens to me also. Just not to tell in many words, but I'm telling you today, this is the sixth topic or seventh topic in a day I'm discussing, and
Yeah.
then one topic had no relation to other topic. No, absolutely no. So my break is only I get up from my table and chair, and I walk around, go to my kind of small terrace garden we have. I go there, just walk
Right.
around, come
Right.
back, and another meeting starts. So this is
Absolutely.
exactly. Anyway, I think we have already exceeded time. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was so two things to take care. I think today's summary. I think I got two things, that what we see as complaints or as good points are merely a perception of people, and they are subjective other than generalized. you know so those
True.
things can be subjective, number one. Number two, you mentioned about multitasking as a very, and that kind of a mindset can be really, is in demand today. So millennials would be successful if they have a structured way of doing multitasking. Probably, yes,
Sure.
that is what you said.
Yes.
And
Yes.
second thing, we should also look at, having a kind of guideline where we can tell senior millennials or elder generation as to how to, not behave, but how to train millennials. How to kind of
To
gel with
understand
them.
them, yes.
Yeah.
To understand them more, yeah. To
जेल विद
understand
देम इज
them.
मोर जेल विद देम इज मोर दिस थिंग, बिकॉज अंडरस्टैंडिंग तो हो जाती है पर वो काम नहीं कर सकता फिर उसके तो जेलिंग हो जाएगा तो टीम टीम बन जाएगा. तो how to team up with the millennials. So we will
Yes.
I will put some thoughts on this. You can also put some thoughts. We maybe write some,
Sure.
couple of pages and say this is what it is. you know and of course,
Okay.
what importantly you said about multitasking was the best thing that I heard today, was that, a systematic way to rest your mind. I mean, with this thought, I
and
feel
and
so.
and as you very rightly said, you for in your case, you're doing so many things on a particular day, and nothing has a comparison with each other. This is exactly see, there is a way that you organize yourself. So in that organization process, as you said, the way to rest your mind is to go to a certain place at your home, which is perfectly, it has the same effect. It has absolutely the same effect. So every person may have a different process. They may just choose to look at outside the window for 5 minutes, or just,
Yeah,
whatever, you have a cup of coffee for 5 minutes and don't think of anything else except that coffee. Just bring your mind to a standstill. Yeah, that is what I meant actually. Yeah.
absolutely. Anyway, thank you very much, Devashish, and
Thank you
it was
so
very
much, sir. Always a pleasure.
insightful to touch upon the new topics, and and not to take things in another way. And we have, I mean, today absolutely great discussion. I'm very
Right.
happy, and just to show you what I made a point of showing my notes to you. So
Your
see, these
handover
are my notes.
handwriting. Oh wow. Oh my
See,
God,
see, these
amazing.
are my notes, and these are today's meeting before that we
Uh-huh.
had a IMO paper meeting, and see, I mean, but I'm just saying this is not in
So
demand now.
so so
This is not in
I mean
demand now.
I had spent a year of my life studying graphology, and I can tell you a
Oh,
lot of things. Oh, I mean, this handwriting which you just showed me, it really, I mean, it makes a very clear statement of the kind of organization which you have in your mind. I mean, how organized
yeah,
you are,
true,
and that is, yes. Otherwise, you couldn't have done so many things that you constantly keep doing. I
yeah,
mean, of course,
true.
sort of.
So anyway, let's quality. I was supposed to say this is quality, sir. Thank you very much. Abhin, his name is Abhi Deshudi. Okay. Thank you, Abhi. Thank you for your comment, and thank you, Devashish. Thank you very much. And
Thank you,
let's
sir.
let's end the show
Yes,
here. And good
yes.
discussion. I will put this on YouTube as well, so people can watch it later, and it will be on the IGTV as well. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And again, we'll see you next Friday. In case we are calling a guest, we will have a post, reel, or whatever, the story going on. If there is to respect the guest. We don't want to disrespect his time and involvement. But if there is no guest, Tuesday and then Friday, 8 p.m. is a reserved time. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good night, guys. Good night. Take care.